Everyone sees the Hulk as a bomb waiting to detonate, but he's actually proof that we are conditioned to just trap our anger. That's not a courtesy we give, that is a prison we put ourselves into. We're conditioned to see the Hulk through Bruce Banner's pain alone, and labeling him as a monster is just an excuse to avoid the deeper question. Is he just an unfiltered version of each and every one of us? And for crying out loud, just look at this scene from the Avengers.
Hulk. Smash.
Now, when used as a weapon, Hulk's anger is widely accepted. Anything out of that scope, and it is completely rejected. Now, yes, this scene is funny, but it also highlights a key point in this entire logic. It is a cringeworthy double standard that is designed to protect the system, not the person. When Hulk takes full control, he has complete free reign. He isn't governed by Stark Industries' public image like Tony Stark, no more than he is by Steve Rogers' military sense of duty and loyalty. And ironically, that makes him the most socially free hero in the MCU, yet he's viewed as a weapon that must be contained. Rather than blindly attacking everything in his path, the reason Hulk reacts aggressively isn't just because of threats, it is what those threats trigger within him. Hulk is also wholly confused by our world, the rules that govern it, the conformity we adopt, but it's not necessarily that simple. What do you expect? This is Daemonology. Nothing is simple. Hulk attacks because he cannot deal with Banner's severe burnout and the suppression of his trauma. He is completely on his own, just like a lot of us are today. But that is incredibly lonely. Hulk might be free, but without a clear purpose, he's left only with the burdens that Banner refuses to face. And fighting is quite literally the only way Hulk knows how to release any of this pain. And almost every civilian or hero sees it as unjustified, uncontrollable rage. Is Hulk overreacting or simply rejecting all of the social filters that have been drummed into us for years? Every time, and I do mean this sincerely, you react with anger, the very first thing people tell you to do is calm down. So first we gotta ask, why is anger universally rejected? What I mean is that sadness gets empathy, fear gets understanding, and depression gets empathy. So why is anger cast aside and just seen as a downfall? His anger directly causes damage to structural systems that we find familiar, but perhaps that is what everyone actually fears. The breakdown of society, the rules of routine. Hulk completely disrupts that flow, and that freedom terrifies the people who rely on those systems. And I think it's safe to say none was more terrified than General Ross. It's the sort of uncertainty that made Ross want to stick his nose where it absolutely didn't belong. Ross creates an immense double standard. He sees the Hulk as a threat to a system, so he tries to contain him, but then exposes Blonsky to the very same serum that corrupted Banner, all just to regain control. Now yes, there was no gamma bomb or any risk of that exposure or anything like that in this dose, but the point is, Ross was willing to take the risk. So a big mean green machine is roaming the earth, and Ross thinks that it's safe and productive to risk having two run around the place.
Well,
he didn't just want to control Hulk, he wanted to own him. Hulk and Ross have a very interesting dynamic. Ross wants complete control and order out of fear. The Hulk wants to defend the innocent, but reacts with anger when Banner's traumas frighten him or he's just threatened. The reason why each of them behave this way is strangely identical. Their reactions and behaviors are recognized systems, but they are each trapped inside those systems. For example, whenever Ross is asked to understand the Hulk is just a human on the inside, or conversely, the Hulk is conveniently asked not to smash something.
Hulk, don't smash! Big monster!
That unfamiliar territory creates the uncertainty or possibly fear that you see in each of these characters. Now, it doesn't stop there because the anger and resentment builds and builds. Now, you might not necessarily transform into the Hulk, but you might and probably will start mentally quitting and resenting that part of your life. Maybe Hulk's anger tells us a very different story. We're taught to behave and work our 9 to 5s just to keep the gears turning, but the moment we understandably, react with anger, we're seen as too much to handle or emotionally immature. Hulk completely lacks the emotional filtering that we all experience every day. So it raises a deeper question. Are we trained to follow systems, or just conditioned to believe that our anger is unjustified and considered wrong behavior? That is how most of the MCU views Hulk. Anger is just the result of something terrible. It is the byproduct of something bad. But let's say without the childhood trauma, suppressed anger, or any of the resentment or whatever, you don't necessarily get the Hulk. You just get a man who worked incredibly hard his entire life just to be another slave to a system that keeps pockets filled with money. But because oppressing something with anger causes damage to known systems or disturbs the peace, we see it as a threat. Just like Hulk views Ross's desire to control and own him as a threat, and vice versa. Now, I'm not saying that anger is the way to go. Please, I don't like angry people. But maybe that's the problem. Perhaps we're all feeling like we don't necessarily own ourselves anymore. And honestly, if you ask me, this is why Hulk doesn't get the attention that he deserves. So yes, Hulk is a mean green machine, but he may have proved that systems are really prisons that we're all trapped in. I certainly don't think that Hulk is just good at striking terror and releasing rage. This analysis suggests that he has a lot more insight to offer us. The question is whether we are happy to admit that anger, whether intended or not, is just a product of our environment. And with that being said, this leaves one more question for each and every one of you. Do you agree or disagree? Do you think Hulk was underutilized in the MCU? And I think I'm going to get some rest. Yeah, I really don't feel great. It was a lot to film this video, but anything to get content out for you guys, that's what counts.
Wake up!
I'm still filming. Oh, Jesus.